You were listening to chartingwealth.com for Thursday, the 30th of March, 2017. Everything is up for the day. We see the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, 20-year bonds, and gold. All of it is up. Let's jump right into these charts. If we go to our two-day chart, what do we see going on? Well, the first day of the latest two-day candle from the 29th of March is an up green candle. It shows us on the charts we're up just a little bit, 0.09%, not even 0.9%. We're in a confirmed down move on the two-day chart with a two-day vertical crossover occurring on the two-day candle ending on the 14th. But remember, we are still with the S&P 500 all the way back at Thanksgiving of last year is when we had our weekly vertical crossover occur. Now, what's interesting is when we zoom in to see what's happening, we still are just about to see a vertical crossover. Might be confirmed at the end of the week. We won't know that until and unless that happens. Those of you who have gone and signed up for our text notification service, we will let you know as soon as it is confirmed, which will get you ready to jump in potentially the following Monday. That is the 3rd of April, the first trading day of the new month. And you may have a jumping in point for some serious down moves in the market. Hasn't happened yet. We'll continue to monitor it, see if indeed it occurs. How do you participate? We've got several hundred already on our text notification list. All you do is dial, put into your text messaging the number 33222. That's the number you send it to, not a phone number, but this little special message number 33222. And you want to send the words in your text message, Charting Wealth, as just one big word, Charting Wealth. That's our name. We already have, like I said, several hundred folks in that database. If you get in that database too, we will update you on exactly the chart. That is which ETF that the weekly vertical crossover occurred in, which direction, and when it happened. And again, sign up for that list. You'll get no more than 6 text messages in any given month. In fact, we've only sent out 1 so far. And that's since we started the service, and it's been well over a month now. So again, please sign up for it. We'll be sure to notify you. There is no current trade because we got our weekly vertical up, our two-day vertical down. There is no trade in the S&P right now. We are just continuing to watch to see if we have a weekly vertical crossover going down or if this market's going to turn around and keep going up. We shall know something tomorrow. Remember how powerful that weekly chart is. Now let's go to the Qs. NASDAQ 100 as represented by QQQ are the cubes. What do we see going on there? Big up day. In fact, hitting some of the highs that it had hit before. Remember, still in a confirmed up move since early January. And yes, early January, when we had the weekly vertical crossover occur, had the two-day crossover going down on the candle ending the 14th of March. Up then, after that a little bit, and then rotated over in the last two-day candles. We've seen some up movement, still a negative derivative oscillator, and the PPO, the price percent oscillator, still negative on that two-day chart. So no trade there. If we look at our weekly, unless there's a huge down day on Thursday and Friday, don't expect there to be a vertical crossover. We'll just have to wait and see. There may be. You know what? We let the charts lead us. We are trend followers. We don't forecast what's going to happen. That's a fool's errand. Nobody has a crystal ball. Only the good Lord knows what's going to happen in the future. And you start betting your virtual farm. And again, remember, we do virtual trades. We're not a stock calling service. We're an education firm. But you start betting your virtual money on which way you forecast the market moving. You are going, it's like Vegas. They're going to take your money. That's why we trend follow. That's what we teach at chartingwealth.com. Okay, so no trade in the Qs, waiting to see what's going to happen there. Let's, though, take a look at TLT, the 20-year bond fund. Now, it has a confirmed crossover going up on the Friday, the week ending February the 3rd. That's where the weekly vertical crossover occurred. And we had the two-day vertical crossover occur on Wednesday, the 22nd of March. And we've had big up candles on the 2-day chart since the 2-day really bottomed out around the 16th of March. Had an up day over the course of the day on Wednesday. Let's take a look at what that 2-hour chart's showing us. Again, a little bit squirrely. 2-hour chart did pull back. Tried crossing over very weakly after a huge bound up. And again, we don't get in at 10, do we? We always wait until after idiot hour. So a potential jumping in point would have been around 121.28. And I guess the market closed at 121.21. So down 7 cents, something like that. So the high, though, was 121.37. So again, we're waiting to see if it's going to cross back over. If you didn't get in, you were worried about sort of the squirreliness of the market really pulling back on the 27th. You might have another jumping in point. What we're really looking for, and this is important to look at and to see, if you take a real look at what bonds have been doing, bonds started really massively going down in about July, about early to mid-July of last year. And they tracked down sideways, jumped way down in September, up a little bit beginning of October, and then starting in early October, just trundled down all the way until early January and sort of bottomed out somewhere around about 117. And it's hit that 117 mark 2 or 3 times. That seems to be sort of the floor on bonds. It's bounded off of it now the second time. We're sort of range bound somewhere in about the 121, 122 category. So if we see bonds really take off and these Bollinger Bands start bounding out, then we might feel really good about what bonds are doing. So again, hopefully, I mean, we've got the weekly vertical and the 2-day vertical, so those serve us well. So let's continue to monitor that. I want you to practice trade in these things and learn how these bonds react, because we do seem to be hitting a bottom here in bonds. And if the market goes down, if the S&P really rolls over going down, what's inversely correlated to the market typically? Bonds. It's the safe place where money goes. So investors are sort of fiddling around with that right now. And again, you can listen to all the stuff you want to on the news. I don't care what they say on the news. I only care what the charts tell me, because the charts are the actual price movement, not talking heads selling commercials. That's what matters about these charts. That's why I don't listen to the news. I look at a newspaper occasionally, but I care about what these charts are telling me. They are price movement. They show you the fear and greed of investors and traders. That's what you need to be paying attention to, my friends. That's what will make you a chart master. Okay, lastly, gold up for the day 0.24%. On the 2-day chart, gold, of course, we had a weekly vertical crossover for the week ending the 27th of January. Gold went up for a while, bounded down in late February, early March, and then started moving up again mid-March and has continued to move up again for the day 0.24%. Weekly 2-day vertical crossover on gold back on the 24th of March. So what do we see going on there? Well, if we take a look at our 2-hour chart, we still don't have a buying point. We're in the pullback. And again, I don't like the sideways movement. I want gold to move, because our PPO, our price percent oscillator, is not really a good indicator when you've got just sideways slippage. But again, when we do see some movement and a crossover, hopefully the DO, the derivative oscillator, flips over at the same time, means gold's really moving. The market's really in, if you look across the board at these indexes we're looking at, and gold and TLT, the 20-year bond, you see the market's in flux right now, trying to figure out which way to go. And maybe by Friday, we will know. And if we see that weekly vertical crossover on gold, then I'm sorry, on the SPY, the Standard & Poor 500, then of course, what's that going to tell us? Tell us what's already happened in gold and in bonds. They've already had their weekly vertical crossover, telling us that they have bottomed out. So we'll continue to watch, my friends. I really want to see that confirmation. in the S&P 500. Thank you so much for being with us. You have questions, problems, concerns, feel free to write us always. CW@chartingwealth.com. You need to sign up for our newsletter so you get every day the things that we are doing, the important work we're doing at chartingwealth.com, plus all of our training. All you do is go to chartingwealth.com, put in your first name and your email address, and boom, you are hooked up with us. We will send you our How to Read a Stock Chart video, the layout that we use at freestockcharts.com. And by the way, if you're using a Mac computer like I do, I went into full panic mode 2 weeks ago when Silverlight was no longer carried by the web browser that I tend to use, either Chrome or the one I was really using was Firefox. So to use Free Stock Charts now, I have to use Safari. If you're an Apple user, be aware of that. But you get our How to Read a Stock Chart video, the layout from freestockcharts.com. The operative word there is free. And you also get our links to our daily market worksheet and our weekly market worksheets that you must fill out every day. We have trainings on exactly how to do that. All that stuff is at chartingwealth.com. God bless you, my friends. Love to hear from you. Let us know what we can do for you. Of course, we never sell your name. We do not give away your cell phone number if you wish to receive our text message on weekly vertical crossovers. We don't charge you for any of the information we provide. We're all about being your friend, trying to help educate you on how to read these charts and empower you to get out there and be a charting master. Can you ask for anything more? Thank you so much for the nice things you say about us. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, particularly YouTube. You guys, please subscribe at YouTube and at iTunes. Give us a 5-star rating. You guys have made us as high as we just moved up from number 9 to number 8 in the world. As far as stock trading podcast, you guys have made us as high as number 6 for stock market podcast. So thank you so much. We're number 1 for stock charting podcast. So thank you so much, guys. God bless. All the best from chartingwealth.com.